With the NVIDIA GTC, the GPU technology conference just around the corner, it's the premier NVIDIA event for developers focusing on AI, metaverse, accelerated computing, and much more. I'm joined for a chat this morning with Carlo to chat about some of the topics around data center AI and energy efficiency. Carlo, there's no doubt that AI is a hot topic these days. So where does NVIDIA AI play into all this?
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me. Hey, I have to say, I've been in this field for 8 years now, and it has been an incredible journey. And by the way, every GTC, we see all of these massive breakthroughs. It's really fair to say that AI is driving a massive change in each and every industry across the globe. And ever since we started with this revolution, we have been at the heart of the technology here, Kevin. And sure, it all started with the breakthrough performance that we were delivering on our GPUs. But today, it's fair to say it's really about the full stack AI approach that we have. So it's chips, it's full systems, but it's also everything about amazing libraries that we have and software. And all of that together to enable researchers, developers to accelerate their work. And so we have been focused on a full stack approach, the full solution, and looking then at the complete use case. So think about topics like natural language processing, robotics, autonomous vehicles, life sciences, digital avatars, recommender systems, and I can go on and on and on. And the idea really with this approach is to have a full toolkit for developers, for researchers to build their work on. So sure, the highest possible performing hardware, like our new H100 Tensor Core GPU, but really up to the SDKs that contain all the building blocks. And I think then also about pre-trained models, segment-specific workflows for each relevant segment in the field of AI.
There's no doubt that the amount of potential use cases for AI in industry and business right across the board is practically endless. But that will drive a lot more compute. So how do we balance the whole more compute and energy efficiency these days?
Well, there's good news. It's absolutely possible. And so the interesting thing about our very specialized AI technology, such as that H100 Tensor Core GPU, is that it delivers massive performance, but at the same time, it's consuming way less energy than traditional computer, like CPU technology. And not by a little, I see cases where we can be up to 40 times more energy efficient than traditional environments. So you have efficiency, but of course, that also comes with the economics. They're very beneficial. So we already talked before a little bit about the importance of having the hardware and software combination. And another approach next to the underlying technology is also to have a more efficient software approach. And then in two ways, right? The software to do, for example, the AI training, to do that in a better way, but also the algorithms that we then create to deliver more performance while maintaining the accuracy, but consuming less resources for all of this. And on the training side, I can give you an example. We did that with our Ampere GPUs. So if you would be installing a cluster of A100s, and then just by keeping the software up to date for your developers, for your researchers, and going after the latest version of the NVIDIA stack, we saw up to 2.5 times performance increase. Can you imagine? Same cluster, 2.5 times performance increase. I think in this context, it's also good to talk a little bit about the latest trends, right? And so large model training for generative AI, think of large language models. And those are massive workloads. And these workloads, they are based on those so-called transformer models. And transformer models are really the backbone of projects. If you think of BERT or GPT-3 or the NVIDIA work on Megatron Turing. And we have been focused specifically on those very heavy workloads and how we can improve the performance and efficiency here as well. And again, there, if you look at the H100 GPU, it has something on there called the transformer engine. And with that feature, we are able to achieve 6 times more performance just with that single GPU. And yeah, go ahead.
You know, as you mentioned, it's all about a balanced approach. So it's the hardware, it's the software, and some folks may not be that familiar. You know, they think, oh, it's a CPU, but you have the CPU, you have the GPU, you have the DPU with Bluefield. You have the NVLink for the communications between the nodes, building up into a pod. So it's all about being able to scale and removing any bottleneck within the system, right? Whether it's in the memory, it's in the bus, it's in the software. That's how you get your energy efficiency and more power.
Yeah, absolutely. It requires a well orchestrated approach to make these breakthrough projects happen. And then maybe one thing to say as well, we're talking much about the underlying AI technology and the efficiency there and what we can do there, but then we don't even talk about applying this technology for work in sustainability or, for example, in climate change research. So, and those are also topics at GTC where you will see things like the work that we do on Earth 2. And that's a project where we're using very advanced modeling with the Omniverse and simulation technology to create a digital twin of planet Earth. And then again, with a focus to enable climate change research. So, and that's when you apply the technology again. So I think there's much to do here.
No, I agreed. And one of the things I'll be keeping an eye out for during the whole GTC is around the industrial metaverse. And you have a bunch of sessions there. You know, what's the current state? And as you mentioned, a lot of people using Omniverse for their digital twins, and the digital twin angle in terms of how do we create sustainability by, you know, design digitally, create once. How do we design more sustainable products, life cycle, everything.
Fascinating field.
Agreed. Now, one last one. I suppose I've been in the IT industry for many years. When we talk about energy efficiency and whatever, we talk about what benchmarks are out there today to kind of compare apples with apples.
Yeah, there are a couple of indicators to look at energy efficiency. Yeah. So traditionally, in where we come from, right, we would look at the data center. We look at the PUE, power usage effectiveness, and to work on that efficiency, operators of those centers, they can look at factors like cooling systems. How do you optimize the server usage? We talked already a little bit about that, and adopting high performance, very efficient technology. Now, and so one of the things that we did in our portfolio, we have also introduced liquid-cooled GPUs that are being offered by several of our key OEM partners. And so that's one approach. Another way to measure what we can do here is there's a great benchmark out there for green computing. It's called the Green 500. And I like to compare it. It's kind of the Olympic Games for the world's most energy efficient supercomputers, right? And those rankings there, the metric is the performance per watt of power consumed. And so before we already talked about the amazing Hopper technology that just came out. And one of the leading research organizations in the world, the Flatiron Institute, they just implemented this new H100 Tensor Core GPU, and they used air-cooled Lenovo servers. They created an amazing system called Henry. And guess what? Henry came and it immediately took the #1 spot in the Green 500 last November. So I love it because it also shows that green computing doesn't need to be complex. And also the economics are fantastic, as you can imagine. But Kevin, you will hear much more about all of this at GTC, and we have several sessions over there on best practices and how do you build these best-in-class centers.
And then the one thing, you know, GTC is on from what, the 20th to the 23rd of March. You have sessions that are US time, European time, Asia time, replays, watch parties. It's a busy 4 days, and it's free, right? For anybody can dip in and out whenever they want and go back and see the recordings and. So no, it's going to be a busy couple of days. There's a lot of new technology and a lot of solutions for everyone to brush up on.
It will be amazing, and I look forward to meeting all of you and sharing best practices and talking about all the breakthroughs that are happening right now.
Carlo, thank you very much. We'll see you online at the GTC.